Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Coaster Spotlight. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at Haunting of Mattanon Mountain, created by weaslebuddy. So stay tuned, and let's check it out. Alrighty, this was sent in by one of our Discord new builders, and here he says, "Hello, Johnny. This is my first try at a coaster, and I hope you enjoy it. If this happens to end on a spotlight, like that'll ever happen, I want full harsh feedback for my creation so I can advance as much as possible as a builder. Here is the story of the coaster. A mining company by the name of Mattanon is looking for new recruits as you and your team trek up the mountain to Mattanon. You stumble upon an evil entity. The entity is the spirit of Prospector Hector, a worker who used to work at Mattanon but was crushed by a rogue train driven by two bandits named Web Searcher and Johnny5 into the scrapyard. Hang on tight as you guess twists and turn through the haunted tunnels of Mattanon, then reaching the Prospector's home for you to politely ask for you to stay with him forever, attempting to blow you to smithereens. Enjoy the coaster and have a great day." Oh boy, that was a hard one to get through. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. We have a builder creation today, a new builder creation today. We're going to talk about the feedback last, but this looks interesting. It's a ghostly mine. I say we just jump straight on into it. That's not the entrance. Here we go. I'll cut to it as soon as one's ready. Actually, let's quickly look at the stats here. There's a look at all the results if you guys want to have a closer look. And the train is here. Perfect. Oh, that's it? I expected that to be a lot longer. Holy freaking moly. We spent more time on the lift than we actually did the coaster. So it looks like this is going to be a big episode 4 feedback. Let's get into it. He asked me to be brutally honest. What did he say here? Full harsh feedback. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be harsh, but I'll try not to be. I want to talk about harsh. The rock work is harsh. Definitely work on your rotation. When you're putting rocks down, you got to add some randomization and variety to your rocks. The best way to do it, honestly, is when you duplicate these things, do it right then and there. And obviously you want to use different styles of rock. This whole rock cluster is the exact same rock. You have 10, 15 different types of red rocks to use, and you decided to go with the whole same one. And for a blueprint this big, it's not even a blueprint, is it? Oh, no, I did place it. 4K, holy crap, that is big. I expected to be a lot more. Looking at the screenshots, I thought, oh, this is going to be a wild, interesting journey. I saw this in the screenshot. That had me interested. I like it. I like when people do their own custom things. There just wasn't enough of it. The lift hill, you got to speed that up. You can grab that whole lift hill and increase the speed of it. All right, 8 miles per hour. That's just a really long lift. In terms of why did you make a rock mound? That's my thoughts. There's not anything inside of it, so therefore you do not need a rock mound. If you want to build a Western coaster or a mine train coaster that takes you on a Western experience, why is there a need for it to be a mountain? If anything, I think you would have been better off doing a park file and, you know, making a big hill and then custom, you know, terraforming it. At the very top you build your town, and then you have areas where you push down and it goes into the ground. You know, you build your own landscape, and it's going to look a lot better than having to place all those rocks, and it's going to be a lot faster too. And what it's going to allow you to do is have other landmarks, and then you can build a wooden bridge in between them, and the train passes out, and you can build a custom bridge here, goes around. Then you have like an exploration coaster. This is the size of a park coaster usually, but it's a blueprint, and I don't see the point of all these rocks. You have a town on top, but it doesn't make sense. How would a sheriff have built his why would a sheriff build up here? There's no paths leading up there. They're just buildings placed on top of a rock mound, and it's not telling a story. It doesn't make any sense. Why is it up here? The scrapyard. It's not really a scrapyard. So think about these things. Ask yourself the questions of why. Why is there a saloon at the top of the hill? If you want to build a Western town, it should be down below, and the train takes you from if we went with this concept, we'd have a whole Western village built here. One of them is a train station. It leaves and then it goes up and explores the mines, crosses some bridge, does some stuff, goes into some spooky caves. That's where you build all your custom work, and then it comes back out and back around, because a lot of it's not really making sense to me. Now, in terms of your coaster feedback, you didn't use the banking tool at all. And while the coaster itself swings, it still helps to grab this and bank it. It makes it more interesting. Now you're going to have some kinks here, but you can grab that and smooth it, and now it transitions nicely. You should have a lot more banking. And the pace of the coaster, it was very jarring. It was dropped up, and then at certain points we just veered off, dropped again. It doesn't have a lot of transitioning. It doesn't, and then we yanked us right. It was very hard on the neck if I were one of these riders. And here we got this big drop again. I would have banked that whole thing, give it a bit of smoothing, and it'll still swing, but it just feels smoother. And it looks interesting when you have track that's bending. And here it's just, whoa, we're coming down way too fast. So even here, this whole area needs to actually be brought up and banked. Oh, you have brakes. It's brakes. Well, instead of braking it, you just bring it up. And then, yeah, it's going to be crazy, but that's what your smooth tool is for. That way, it's all about up and down momentum. When you're coming down fast, you need to bring it back up, and you got to bring it up high. But for having all this interior rock work, it needs to feel more like a mine, and it feels like a hollow mountain. So it goes back to the roots of the whole question is, why did you make a mountain? Because you wanted to make a mine coaster. But how do you decorate a mountain? Well, putting buildings on it is not sensical. So you have to make sense of your game plan from the very beginning. So think small. Work small, start small, make your little town, and then make a small mound. Make it like this big, and you can see how much track you can fit in there and explore, and how many, you know, and work on the detailing of the mine shaft. You have it here, but nowhere else where it's important, and this whole thing would cave in on you. It needs supports. It needs to be tight. Mine shafts aren't big and open caves. Caves are. So it's not really a mine coaster. It's just a big cave. A hollow mountain again. So honestly, if you want to try these exploration coasters and you want to play with a big coaster, you got to go real big, and it would work much better inside of a real terrain. And then you know, then you have a lot more wiggle room. Then you're decorating your terrain, you're detailing your mine shafts, and you're not spending 100% of your time placing rocks. And if you're going to place the rocks and you're going to do a custom mount like this, you got to start small and you got to start with the details. So I guess the last thing to talk about would be the nighttime lighting. I actually kind of like it, but I would have gone with the more ghostly teal because blue, it feels more aquatic here. So I would take that hue. I don't even know where a light is. That's not a light. Anyways, I'd go with that ghostly teal. You know what I'm talking about. It's a teal. It's a blue. The lighting's a bit spotty. It's hard to light this stuff. Not a big fan of the red here, but I guess you're trying to sell some sort of horror show in here. A floating pickaxe. It's like a danger dynamite. It's not really a saloon, is it? So just when you're building something, ask yourself questions and give yourself answers. Why am I building a mountain? Why am I placing a saloon here? Does this make sense? And if the answer is no, then don't do it. Try to make everything cohesive, comprehensive, and make sense of it. Otherwise, you know, you're putting a lot of work into something, and many, many hours. You could have done something half the size in half the time and just had this neat, nice, polished mine train coaster. That would be my best advice. And I love these goats, by the way. But yeah, those are the details I want you to focus on. Little goats. You have this big skull in here. I think that's great. When you sit down to make these elements and these buildings, you do well, but you just need to bring them all together cohesively and make sense of it. Boom. That's my feedback to you. If you guys can think of anything else to help this new builder out, fire away in the comments. I'm sure he'll appreciate your feedback and suggestions. I say start small or have fun playing with a coaster in terrain-based maps and really play with the coaster, because I feel like the whole point of this thing was for the coaster, but the coaster had the least amount of thought gone into it. And I think you spent all your time on the rocks to a point where you didn't know how to fill that after, and you kind of cornered yourself into, let's just continue with this, and it didn't quite work out today, unfortunately. So that's my thoughts for you there. Hopefully it wasn't too harsh, but that's what you asked for, and I am a people pleaser, so hopefully you were pleased with that feedback, and I hope to see you improve for the next one and get that builder rank that you're looking for there, weaslebuddy. And that's going to do it for this episode of Coaster Spotlight, everybody. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily Planet Coaster videos. And if you'd like to support the show, you can do so by becoming a patron. Links are down in the description below. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.